Belichick loves the Navy, Bon Jovi. He loves LT. He loves
coached
history.
LT too. Right. I mean, we got to throw it out there. I mean, that's a little bit of a
on the
homer
bingo
thing.
board of what Bill Belichick loves. LT is like center square.
Well, I mean,
that was his prized pupil.
Exactly. And Hall of Famer, Defensive Player of the Year, and LT, and Bartle can second this. LT was going sometimes against running backs who really could not block him.
They couldn't hang.
Well, he was the overhand guy. You know, they created a position. You know, what
What's
I
the
can't say.
overhand guy for
Well, overhand guy is like the extra guy that really they can't account for. It's like 3-on-3. It's like sometimes when you see safeties come into the box, they're the overhand guy. That's why you always heard Peyton go, Omaha, run away from the extra guy that we can't block. You know, but LT was tremendous, and he was like the first tweener type of guy that I can remember dropping in coverage. But best of all time,
I mean,
I don't know about.
I don't know about.
Whoa! And we've had this discussion on my show all the time, and all the New York callers call up and they cuss me out. But I got to go with the Minister of Defense, Reggie White.
Reggie White.
198 sacks. We're talking about 198 sacks versus 132 for Lawrence Taylor. Yes, I know the Minister of Defense didn't drop back in coverage.
No, he didn't.
But his career low was 8 sacks. That's his career low.
And he always when he gets 300 pounds.
One move, the hump.
Not running back?
He taking 350-pound men because they was fatter back in the day. Hit him with that hump move. Minister of Defense, you know I love you, man. We got the same representation, LTZ.
LT the man.
You my boy. I love you, but I got to do you. Love you, but I got to do you.
Who comes closest to LT?
I would say, well, let me say it's Derek Thomas. I would say because you remember what he was able to do. Is he another overhand guy?
No,
not an overhand.
He had that bend. He had that bend, baby.
He had the bend. He had the ability to come around that corner and that speed off the corner. Is this the 7-sack game?
Why you got to be sacking the seat?
I think this is the 7-sack game.
Why you got to show
over here? He should have had an 8th sack, and that's the one that really burned him because he didn't get the 8th sack that day, and it wound up being a game-winning touchdown. So he would have single-handedly won that game, and that's the one. So I like that about a guy that he still remembers the sack that he didn't have that day. I just find this whole thing funny because when Justin Tuck retired, the longtime Giants defensive end who played with the Raiders, played with Khalil Mack. I remember him saying to me that this guy's about to bump out. He said he compared Mack to LT and Derek Thomas, and the quote he told me was, I know who I'm comparing him to. Trust me, I get it. I know. So Justin Tuck disagrees with Bill Belichick because he does believe that Khalil Mack's in this category.
I tend to agree with Bart. I think Reggie White was the best pass rusher ever, but to say that there's a current player that's like LT, I don't think there is. Guys were just made a little different back then.
Right.
This player is a little bit different mentally. You know what I mean?
He was evolution.
Yes.
That's what he was.
He was the game evolving.
Right. They had to develop schemes to learn how to block him. So he innovated the game. You know, he was the guy that evolved the position and created his own position because of his unique talent, being like one of these size speed guys.
So modern day, if I were to submit J.J. Watt, who has 7 sacks, tied for the lead
He's
and
inside.
has won
He's
3
inside.
Defensive Player of the Year awards, the same amount as LT.
I'll go Jason Taylor, Simeon
That's
Rice.
crazy to you.
I'll go Jason Taylor.
It's not. Is it crazy? It's not crazy. It's just it's tough to compare two different kinds of guys.
It's like